I'm Siani Lee in Egg Harbor Township.
I'm Mike Strug in Mays Landing.
I'm Christine Perez in Galloway Township.
News 10 takes you into the heart of the floods. Our live team coverage starts now.
You're watching Philadelphia's NBC10. Now, live from the News Center, this is News 10 at 5.
Heavy thunderstorms dump record-setting rains on South Jersey, leaving Atlantic County flooded out. Officials declare a state of emergency while residents start to mop up. Good evening, I'm Tracy Davidson.
And I'm Arthur Fennell, and that's our top story tonight. News 10's live team coverage of the flood watch. After storms dumped more than a foot of water on parts of South Jersey, causing major damage and forcing evacuations out there. Our live flood watch coverage begins now from Chopper 10 in the gyro cam. Take a look at the washed out Route 559 bridge. This is over the Great Egg Harbor River in Mays Landing. You can see why it collapsed. Raging waters surround that bridge, and it's causing big problems in our area tonight.
In Atlantic City, the street signs point the way, but these cars aren't going anywhere. They got stuck in water rising up to the door frames. And late today, Atlantic City officials are recommending that residents boil their water because floodwaters covered the authorities' water storage basins in Pleasantville. They are also increasing chlorine levels to purify Atlantic City's drinking water.
And Chopper 10 in the gyro cam back over Mays Landing now, where homeowners are facing a flood of troubles tonight. There's water where their yards used to be, and it poured into many of their houses and their garages.
Take a look through News 10's underwater cam with a unique view of what thousands of people in South Jersey have been facing all day. Murky brown floodwaters in streets, homes, and businesses. And the big cleanup is just beginning tonight.
All right, we want to show you a map now so you can see where the flooding is worst. Hamilton, Egg Harbor, and Galloway Townships all receiving incredible record rainfall. And in Pomona, amazingly, 14 inches of rain fell there overnight, virtually swamping Cumberland, Atlantic, and Ocean counties.
News 10 has live team coverage from the flooded areas. Christine Perez is live in Galloway Township, one of the communities hardest hit by the overnight storms. And News 10's Mike Strug is live in Mays Landing, where many roads and bridges have been washed out. But first, let's go to News 10's Siani Lee, live in Pomona, for the very latest on the situation there. Siani?
Good afternoon, Tracy. This is one taxi ride that never made it to the airport. We are on the main access road into Atlantic City International Airport. This is Amelia Earhart Boulevard, and at least 3 drivers here never made it through. And airport officials are telling us at this hour the airport will close tonight because of major electrical problems when nightfall comes. Flights are getting into and out of Atlantic City Airport this afternoon, but come nightfall, air traffic could come to a standstill. The record-breaking rainfall knocked out an underground electrical system which powers the runway lights.
Once the lights are out, which happened at about 12:30, we had to close down the runways for safety reasons. Now that it's daylight, we can operate safely.
Some 120 passengers were stranded overnight. The airport reopened late this morning, but by then there were major delays.
I was supposed to take the 12:10 flight from Philadelphia. They told me there was a foot of water here, that there was no way that the plane was getting in. And I happened to hook up with some exchange students who got on this flight that left at 12:50.
Yeah, I went to get my connecting flight and was told to be canceled due to 3 feet of rain. And I waited for an hour and a half. And then finally they boarded us, just got here, and I'm looking for my luggage.
And on the ground, just trying to get to the airport was a major headache. At one point, all access roads into the airport were closed because of flooding. The fire department was called in to help pump the roadways clear. Airport officials tell us that they hope to have things up and running as soon as the repairs are made. They will continue to work on that electrical system throughout the night and then turn on the runway lights at any time, whether that is 4 o'clock in the morning or at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. That is the latest situation here at the airport. For the very latest on Galloway Township, let's go live now to Christine Perez.
Well, Siani, Galloway Township is one of the worst hit areas in Atlantic County. Dozens of homes have been evacuated. Thousands have been damaged as a result of flood waters. Now, fire trucks have been on call all day, basically pumping water out of backyards. Joe and Cindy Irera live on Jimmy Leeds Road in Galloway Township. They woke up today to a lake in their backyard.
I was out here till 5 o'clock in the morning with a flashlight, watching the water go 3 feet to my house. And there was nothing I could basically do about it, but I just was on patrol.
Neighbors in this community spent the day pumping water out of their basements and cleaning up. More than 75 homes have been affected. This home saw the worst damage when its foundation collapsed.
Like Niagara Falls coming in, we eventually, from the outside, dammed it off and put some tarps up and pushed the water back further, but the ground was, super saturated.
About 5 miles away at the Evergreen Woods Lake Resort, campers were horrified last night when the Moss Mill Lake moved into their tents.
The winds were blowing so strong, that's what I thought it was, a hurricane or a tornado. We woke up around 10:30, 11 o'clock because the wind was so strong the whole tent was moving. It was unbelievable.
The river that caused the damage has been flowing onto Route 561, where this abandoned car barely teetered on the edge. It was the same scene at the Hamilton Mall, where cars had been submerged in water. At the height of the storm, the mainland division of the Atlantic City Medical Center was evacuated. Its emergency room shut down.
I've never seen this kind of flooding in Galloway Township in my 22-year career.
Now, Governor Christie Whitman is expected to tour this flood-ravaged area tonight. In about 20 minutes or so, she's expected to come by here. Now, officials here are warning people not to drink the water, to basically boil their water, and to stay off of flood-ravaged roads like Route 561 and Berlin Avenue. It's the same story in Mays Landing, where my colleague Mike Strug is standing by live.
Christine, Old Egg Harbor Road in Mays Landing is where we are. It's under there somewhere. The geese are walking through Babcock Creek. Babcock Creek, they tell us, is normally about this wide, just a couple of feet. But this is the sort of situation we've been finding here in Mays Landing and throughout Hamilton Township. This scene was all too familiar throughout Hamilton Township as cars surfed along the flooded roadways.
This is the worst flood I've ever seen. It's terrible.
Of course, some cars didn't get through at all, where the water got too deep.
I'm towing cars all over the place. There's water all over. It's deep.
And stuck cars wasn't the worst of it.
It's terrible. It's crazy. A bunch of bridges went out. I got to go big detour to get to my house. It's unbelievable.
Take a look at this home video of Gravelly Run as it rushes across Route 559. Here's the scene a few minutes later. The road is gone. And in Mays Landing, the Sugar Hill Bridge leading into town was hit by the battering ram of Babcock Creek. Eventually, it too gave way, leaving a gaping hole in the roadway. So all traffic was diverted to Route 40, which seemed safe, if a bit bumpy.
At the moment, it says this bridge is very sound. The only thing that we have a problem with is the top deck. And underneath it, we have 2 wooden decks. We're shored up fine underneath. Right now, this is stable. We'll have no worry about it.
So the score right now is 2 bridges out on Route 559. Many other roads are flooded. Unless you have a reason to be here or like sitting in traffic jams, the advice is stay away from Hamilton Township tonight. Live in Mays Landing, I'm Mike Strug, News 10.
Okay, Mike, thank you also to Siani and Christine. Certainly incredible pictures out there of the devastation and the flooding.
What a mess. Now let's go to News 10 meteorologist John Bolaris to find out why so much rain in such a short period of time, John.
And Tracy, want to hear an amazing stat? Normally, for the entire summer season, we should have 10.61 inches of rain. Last night at Pomona, over 13 inches of rain. The amount we normally get for the entire summer season. Why? Let's answer that question right now. Let's go to radar first from last night. Now, between noontime and 8 o'clock, not much rain fell down that way, a little bit less than an inch. But the floodgates opened at 11 o'clock. Look at the bright red. Those are heavy thunderstorms. Now watch. We're going to put it into motion from noon to midnight. 1 a.m. They kept firing up showers and thunderstorms. 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and finally quitting after 5 o'clock a.m. We call that a training effect. It's like a track that sets up in the upper atmosphere that continues to fire up the showers and thunderstorms. And it goes right along this train track. And the train track last night set up near Dover, right through Millville, on up to Pomona. That is the track that happened last night. A training effect. How much rain fell? There it is. You can see over 13 inches at Pomona, and everywhere else around there, close to 10 inches of rain. I'll have more details and a look into your weekend forecast as well, Tracy.
Just incredible. Thanks, John. We've been showing you how the rising floodwaters caught some motorists by surprise, forcing many to just abandon their cars. Chopper 10 and the gyro cam over Route 322 at Route 50 in Hamilton Township, Atlantic County. Cars ended up submerged in water, and the drivers had no choice but to just leave them there. For the latest on the flooding and traffic, let's go live to Mark Davies in the News 10 Metro Traffic Center. Mark?
Well, Tracy, 322 has been one of the biggest problems and remains one of the biggest problems. 322 is shut down at Route 50. Another spot also some tied up traffic, some restrictions. Let's look at a map and give you an idea of where these closures are. Again, 322, the first big spot, is shut down at Route 50 in Hamilton Township, Black Horse Pike there. Also, the Black Horse Pike, one lane each direction at Cologne Avenue, again in Hamilton Township. Another big closure is 30, right around Delilah Road in Absecon. Again, the right lane is blocked with that, but traffic can at least get through. Keep in mind, NJT's Atlantic City rail line is busing between Atlantic City and Egg Harbor, and that's again because of the damage, because of the heavy rains and the flooding. That's the latest in the News 10 Metro Traffic Center. I'm Mark Davies.
Okay, Mark, thank you. Now, once again, let's recap the latest on the flood watch taking place in South Jersey tonight. Atlantic City residents are being told to boil their water before drinking it. That's because floodwaters covered the basins containing treated water. Floodwaters have also forced detours and closings on major highways, including the White and the Black Horse Pikes and Route 50. And a state of emergency is in effect in Atlantic County to keep cars off the highways.
We will have much more on the flood watch coverage still ahead.
I'm medical editor Sherry Banks.
The meters running on flood damage in Atlantic County, New Jersey tonight. High water in Egg Harbor Township turned this cab into a water taxi. More News 10 flood coverage coming up in a few minutes. But first, let's take you live now as we go back to Chopper 10 as you're looking down on the Black Horse Pike in Atlantic County, New Jersey, Route 322. Our photographer, Steve Moss, is up there surveying the damage. And Steve, what can you see from that vantage point?
Well, Art, Hamilton police are really concerned about this bridge now on 322. It's a bridge over one of the tributaries feeding the river here. And it already, as you can see, has just opened up a little bit. They're expecting it to get much worse shortly.
They've closed that area off, obviously. Can you see any crews in that area at all trying to begin to do any work out there?
At this point, no. Their main concern is getting the roads blocked. 322 is closed at Cologne Avenue, and it's also closed down at 50 west of here, where there's still flooding on the highway.
Obviously, that's causing some major traffic troubles. That is a major artery headed to the Atlantic City area and into the New Jersey area, and it's closed off tonight. And do you see any backups as you look further down the horizon?
Well, as we're looking east towards Atlantic City, we in the Hamilton Mall area, there was a considerable backup down here, but you can see a good portion of this highway has been closed down.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Steve Moss, our photographer, live in Chopper 10 tonight over the Black Horse Pike in Atlantic County, New Jersey, where they have things closed up. More details coming up later.
In other news tonight, a recall of all food products.
You know, folks have been talking and talking, and it needs to be mentioned again. Just the incredible amount of rain that fell in such a short period of time really caught a lot of people off guard.
It really came down all in a very short amount of time, and John was just explaining why that all happened, John.
Yeah, that was what we call a training effect. It's just a line of showers and thunderstorms that just continue to redevelop and move right along a Pacific track. And last night the track was from Dover, just about through Dover and Delaware, just through Millville on up towards Pomona, and that's where we got the heavy rain. A training effect, the line of showers and thunderstorms just continued to redevelop. I'm going to show you exactly what that is at 5:30 because we're reloading the computer right now and getting everything together because we got a lot of information to show you, and we're trying to get it all out there to you right now as we speak. Let's check out one of our WeatherNet schools at this hour, and you can see the high at Stone Harbor today. Yeah, you got a little sunshine today, 80 degrees. The low was 69 degrees. We're standing at 80 degrees right now. But look at this amazing stat at Stone Harbor. What, 0.46 inches of rain. That's not too far away from Atlantic City. That was from midnight until now. You see, as you moved up towards Pomona, you had about 10 inches of rain in that time frame. So big difference, just 30, 40 miles away. All right, let's check it out for you this hour. The high officially today was 80 degrees. The normal high is 84. The record high, 96 degrees, set back in 1916. Okay, we're going to put a little bar graph and show the rain, how it piled up during the overnight hours down along the shore. Now, from Wednesday, from noontime to 8 o'clock, you had 1.6 inches of rain. Now, the floodgates opened around 11 o'clock last night. Now, watch, you put it into motion. 9 o'clock, 0.67 inches of rain. It fell between 10 and 11, 1.80. Between midnight, 3.22 to 1 a.m., 3. Look at that. We've just got a ton of rain during the overnight hours. Now, keep in mind, the entire summer season, you normally get, Pomona, 10.61 inches of rain. You got the entire summer season's worth last night and more. 13.52. Amazing. Incredible. And it's over. We can dry out very slowly now. Look at the rain totals. Again, Pomona over 13 inches. You can see Vineland a little over 7 inches. Estelle Manor 12.60. Millville close to 10 inches of rain. Hamilton over 5 inches of rain. But look at this. You slide 10 miles to the east towards the beach. In Atlantic City, 5.51. That's that training effect, that line, that track that went from Dover through Vineland, through Estelle Manor on up to Pomona. That's the train. That's the train track right there. To the east of it, yeah, you got some heavy rain, but not as much. And to the west of it, yeah, you got heavy rain, but not as much. Okay, Doppler radar now from last night. That training effect, there it is, that line that keeps going up from the southwest to the northeast. The red indicating very heavy thunderstorms. 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. they begin to pull out to sea, and there again the rain totals amazing, amazing amounts. Your forecast for tonight, you can dry out.
Action News continues with Scott Palmer, Dave Roberts, Lisa Thomas-Laurie, and Mark Howard.
Hello again. Mark has the night off. Rick Williams joins us this evening, and here are some of the big stories we're following for you on Action News. Record rainfall wallops the Jersey Shore. We'll have a live report. Pets perish in a devastating blaze in Bucks County, and prosecutors in Idaho filed manslaughter charges against an FBI sniper.
And now the details. A record overnight rain has left parts of South Jersey covered with water, and Atlantic County has declared a state of emergency tonight. One of the hardest hit areas is here in Pomona, where more than 13.5 inches of rain fell. The flooding left this gas station covered with water, but it wasn't just businesses that were hit hard. Take a look at the damage to this house. Not only is the yard full of water, but the garage and living room are soaked too. The owners say they've never seen anything like it before, and they're simply amazed.
Well, they said 13 plus inches. Wow. I think most of it is right here.
Now they say all they can do is wait for the water to recede. Coming up at 6 tonight, Kathy Gandolfo will have another live report from flood-drenched Pomona. Also pounded by last night's rains, Mays Landing. This was once the Gravelly Run Bridge. It was wiped out by the high water. And again, homes were not spared by the flooding. Barbara Connelly is the third generation to live in this house. Today she saw it fill with rainwater.
I had a brand new floor put in. All carpeting's gone. All the furniture's wet. The bed's underwater. That'll give you for height, the bed's underwater. My daughter's furniture, all their clothes, their toys, all that's gone.
The effort to save her family's belongings brought people from throughout the neighborhood. She says people she's never even met helped pitch in today. At 6 tonight, Lisa Quintana will have more, focusing on another big problem for the area. All the roads and bridges washed away by the deluge that's pounded Atlantic County.
Well, Rick, last night's massive downpour has also taken a huge toll in Linwood, New Jersey. Just southeast of Egg Harbor Township, Linwood sustained a heavy hit from Mother Nature last night. That's where Jersey correspondent Nora Mushanek is standing by with all the details of the damage. Nora?
Lisa, we're here on Central Avenue in Linwood, which police have barricaded off all day. It's simply too dangerous to drive here because the BARGAINTOWN pond, which most folks here simply call the lake, it has breached its bulkhead and compromised the roadway. And authorities here don't think this road or the water here is going to recede for a long time. Thousands of gallons of water continue spilling over the banks of BARGAINTOWN Pond between Linwood and Egg Harbor Township, flooding Central Avenue in a deluge of water that's left residents stunned.
I've never seen the lake like this in my life.
Never seen it come over its banks?
Oh, never. Not, even like when we've had heavy rains, I'm shocked.
An engineer from the county was out inspecting the dam and the integrity of the road surface. The torrent of water has already begun collapsing the blacktop.
Once it got into the dirt shoulders, the force of the water just started carrying the dirt away. and it just started eating back.
This house normally has a beautiful view of Bargaintown Pond, but today it's in the pond practically. 2 to 3 feet of water has flooded into the basement, causing thousands of dollars worth of damage, and Melissa Rouse's car is ruined.
It was up to the seats, up to the bottom of the seat.
Inside the car?
Inside the car, yeah.
You figure it's a total loss?
I talked to the company this morning, and they said chances are it is.
Flooded, everything's flooded, wedding dress, ruined, Christmas decorations, stereo. A number of houses near the pond were flooded, but that was nothing compared to what happened here on Renee Drive in Egg Harbor Township. The Roberts family had to evacuate last night after the foundation along the entire length of the house suddenly collapsed.
When she walked away to pick up a bucket, she had said, and put on some boots because there was water starting to come in, then that's when it gave way. Right there. So, I mean, thank God she wasn't standing where she was a couple minutes beforehand.
Back live now at the Central Avenue Bridge between Linwood and Egg Harbor Township, where water continues gushing out of the Bargaintown Lake over the road and into the Patcon Creek with such force that it is buckling the blacktop and making the road impassable. And as you've said, this is the situation in a number of roads in a number of towns all over South Jersey. For now, I'm Nora Mushanek reporting live on the Action Cam from Linwood, New Jersey.
Thank you very much, Nora. And that is the very latest on our flooding situation. An 8-year-old Florida boy and his family are getting their turn. Little Jawanza Jones and his family are homeless. Earlier this week, Jawanza returned a purse he found to its rightful owner. And now he has received toys and gifts for his good deed. And the community is reaching out financially to his family. The response has been overwhelming. Jawanza's mom is just glad, she says, her son did the right thing.
There are still some honest people in the world. If you teach your kids to do the right thing, they will eventually do it.
Well, Mann also says even though her family is homeless, it does not mean they are helpless, and she's actually waiting to hear about a job as a school crossing guard.
That's nice. All right, Dave Roberts back inside, and it's the calm after the storm tonight.
Yes, the sun is out there. It's shining. It's a nice breeze outside. It's a very nice night throughout the entire tri-state area. Let's go live in Sky 6 right now, and this is the scene. We're at Penn's Landing. There's the Spirit of Philadelphia. I don't think I've seen that boat out this season. It does go out, doesn't it? Yes, it does. I'm just teasing. Always see it there at Penn's Landing. We'll watch the live picture. We'll show you the numbers. Today's high, 80 degrees. Normally, we should be at 84. The low, 65. Present temperature reading is that high of 80 degrees. Winds out of the west, 9 miles an hour tonight. Partly cloudy skies. Going to be a cool breeze. West-northwesterly, about 6 to 12 miles an hour. The overnight low, 62 degrees. For tomorrow, Friday, mixture of clouds and sun. We have the possibility of an afternoon or evening thunderstorm, a high of 78 degrees. Then on Saturday, 76 degrees, the same type of pattern. Then on Sunday, very comfortable, partly sunny skies and 78 degrees. Well, all around the area, people have been wondering how much rain could fall so quickly in South Jersey. In tonight's AccuFacts file, we're going to explain that for you. This is what Action Radar captured overnight. Now, the red areas show the most intense rain. Over time, you can see that the red just doesn't move off the coast. The same areas just keep hitting again and again. This is called a training effect, like a freight train. Strong wind from the south caused the storms to form and reform along the same track. Now, normally, a storm might pass across an area in a half hour or an hour. Instead, for spots like Pomona, there was a 3-hour downpour after nearly 3 inches that had fallen earlier. And then, between 10 and 11 last night, nearly 2 inches of rain. From 11 to midnight, 3.2 inches. And then from midnight to 1 a.m., another 3.2 inches. That's 8 inches in 3 hours, over 8 inches. By the time the rain stopped this morning, 13.5 inches had fallen in Pomona. Millville received almost 10 inches. Vineland, 7 inches. And Philadelphia, Dover, Delaware, you can see 9 inches. There we go. And in Philadelphia, meantime, we were under 2 inches of rain. So that's out of here, fortunately.
Okay.
Thank you, Dave. We'll come